I want you to think about all the people that you know on the road or living a criminal lifestyle, yeah, and ask yourself which one of them successfully got out the ends. Out of all the men you know that are, whether they be, you know, shotting drugs, what is it, doing smashing grabs, robbing secure vans, holding up off licenses or whatever, how many of the man actually made enough money to get out the ends, yeah, buy a house in a nice area, and what is it, live out there, what is it, continuously for decades, for years and years and years and years, paying their water bills, paying their gas bills, while doing this shotting drugs, while doing these smash and grabs on jewelry stores, while doing robbing these secure vans, and they never had to go court, and then they never had to go police. Then they weren't going in and out of court, in and out of police station, in and out of probation, in and out of community service, in and out of jail, spending most of the year on the inside and a few months on the outside, or most of their years on the inside and a minority of their months on the outside. Nobody. The reality of the situation, this road life, I'm not either, whether it's learning a trade or working a 9 to 5, or what is it, trying to set up your own business and stuff. It's not sustainable. You can't do it consistently and get out the ends. Like, ask yourself, who do you know who's in their 20s, in their 30s, their 40s, or even 50s that managed to make it out at the ends? And that's not the reality. That's not the real reason why people are doing moves and crime. People are not doing moves, yeah, to get out the ends. That's a lie. And people are not doing moves because they're starving and they're what is it, and they're thirsty and stuff like that. People are not doing moves like robbing secure vans or robbing off licenses or doing smash and grabs and then running into a shop and buying bread and water and like drinking and eating out of starvation. That's a lie. Right? People are robbing for excess things, designer trainers, designer clothes. You know what I'm saying? Maybe a vehicle to get a nice vehicle, you know, and so forth. And not a vehicle to get around. A vehicle just so they can pull outside a club and look flashy and whatever, or a motorbike. So the reality is no one. First of all, no one is doing these moves, yeah, doing these moves to get out of the ends, yeah. Secondly, no one, yeah, is making that type of money. A person who's licking secure vans, a person who is doing smash and grabs, a person who's robbing off license stuff is not going to make enough money, yeah, to buy a house outside of the ends, yeah. Because not just buying a house, I'm talking about living in a house, yeah, paying the gas bills, the water bills, yeah, on a consistent basis. This is not a reality. This is not happening. There's no one you've known who's been on road, yeah, who was doing all these crimes, managed to avoid going in and out of police station on a daily basis, managed to go in and going in court on a daily basis, managed to avoid going probation on a daily basis, managed to avoid doing community service on a regular basis, yeah, managed to get out the ends, yeah, and just keep on licking these secure vans or what is it, or shotting drugs, or I don't know, doing these smash and grabs in jewelry shops and just living comfortably outside the ends and so forth. It's a lie. Yeah, you don't know no one has done it, and no one's even aiming to do it. You know, so the whole thing is at the end of the day, you know, is that this life, yeah, this life is just gonna just mean spending most of your years in jail, a few months on the outside, like I said in my other talks, locked up like an animal in a zoo, yeah, smelling another man's fart, smelling another man's poo, you know, hearing when another man goes toilet, going toilet in front of another man, only having a shower when the governor lets you, only being able to go, you know, for a walk when the governor lets you. Like, it's just there's no what is it? There's no future in this. But there's hundreds of plumbers, there's hundreds of electricians, there's hundreds of scaffolders, yeah, that have bought a house outside of the ends or in Spain or Italy or abroad somewhere in, whether it be the Middle East or, I don't know, in another part of Europe, or not anywhere in the world, Eastern Europe and so forth, and bought a house like that. Tons. And also, these people, tradesmen and people that do, even, there's people that are working in Tesco's and Sainsbury's and so forth who've managed to save up over the years, and they've bought houses abroad because they're consistent, because they're doing shifts, or they have discipline, they have sacrifice, they're consistent, they're disciplined, and they have a schedule. Man on road, the vast majority of man on road, they don't have a schedule. They wake up after 12, after 1, Balazoot, you know what I'm saying, watch tons of music videos, tons of movies, this, that, and the other. Maybe one day they shot some drugs, maybe one day they do a smash and grab, maybe one day they do, they rob a secure van, then go and spunk it, go down King's Road or Oxford Street, buy a whole heap of designer and stuff like that. And I'm not saying people should be disciplined and structured and consistent in doing the road life. I believe it's immoral. I believe the creator hates it. I believe that that in the next life people will be punished in hell for robbing people's property, for harming people, for beating people up and taking their belongings, or scamming people out of their money. Yeah, because whether it's fraud, whether it's physical robbery, and you're punching people up, or you're doing smash and grabs in people's in shops with middle-aged people or elderly people, yeah, and you're frightening them, giving them heart attacks, or giving them black eyes, or waving a machete in their face. Whether you are using a machete, whether you are using a shotgun, whether you are using the baton or whatever to actually hit them or just scare them, because they don't know. Most of them will believe that you are using them, and some of you do use it. So the whole point I'm just saying is that this road life, yeah, and this is the thing about this road life. It's strange because even if you're not in a gang, but you're making money through immoral means or by physical force or by scamming people, somehow you always end up getting into beef with people in gangs or other people doing the same thing. Even if you have no direct relationship with them, you end up other people that are into robbery, other people that are into smash and grab, or other people are in gangs. Even if you're not in a gang, you end up somehow crossing paths and getting into beef and arms house and stabbings and shootings and kidnappings and all these kind of and getting rushed and rushing them. It's the reality is that somehow the crime world and the gang world is linked, even if you're not in a gang. The knife world, the gun world, the violence world, and the crime world. Yeah, even if you're not in a gang, or even if you ain't got beef with other people in different postcodes of the state, somehow when you go down that path of doing criminal stuff, you meet other gang members on the way. You meet people that are into robberies somewhere along the way. There's a crossroads somehow. But yeah, so all I'm just saying, if you're a young youth, yeah, and you're thinking about getting on road, or you're started on road, or you've been on road for a while, just ask yourself, what is the long-term plan? What is the long-term plan? Because the reality is, like I said in my other video, you ain't really making money enough. You're not making enough money to get a yard out of the Endz. 2, you're not even planning to get a yard out of the Endz. 3, you're living for the day. Most roadmen are just living in the day. They wake up in the morning, watch some, I don't know, whatever it is, Jeremy Cole, if they're still on, or I don't know what's on daytime TV nowadays. But just watch some daytime TV, smoke a spliff, watch a couple of music videos, watch maybe a movie, stuff like that, and then maybe 12, 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, get up, go hang on a bloody busted council estate wall, and just link up with other mans, talk about rapper beefs, talk about council estate beefs, talk about drill beefs and stuff like that. Then you might decide to go and do a smash and grab or whatever. But just ask yourself, if you're not a person who's working, you're not a person who's trying to learn a trade, if you're not a person who's trying to set up their own business and so forth, just ask yourself, what am I doing on road? And what are my goals on road? I'm talking to you because I'm a person that made a million on one mistakes, and all of these things I wasted my time doing for many, many, many years from the age of like 15 and 16, 17. I got kicked out. Typical story, got kicked out for a single parent family. Yeah, started hitting the roads. Yeah, was homeless for a year. Linked up with the wrong people, and from my like mid-teens was on road. I'm saying, doing this stuff. And the reality is, no one is really thinking long term about this stuff, and no one is getting more than trainers, designer clothes, some jewellery, and maybe at tops, maybe a nice vehicle that in 6 months, yeah, you get the latest vehicle, yeah, from these moves or whatever, and within 6 months, yeah, they change the wing mirrors, they change the back, and maybe the front lights, and you got the old reg now, you got the old version of that car now, and you know what I'm saying, you have to keep on trying to keep up, and you won't be able to. So yeah, so the point is this video is just don't be a bum and be a roadman. It doesn't lead anywhere. It's not like people are not benefiting from it and people are not getting anywhere from it. Yeah. And you don't know nobody who's basically, got out the ends. And I'm not saying you should, because I'm not saying even if you do get out the ends, I'm not saying if a person does get out of the ends, yeah. A person does get out of the ends and they do these crimes and they avoid going court, avoid going police station, they avoid going community service and probation, and avoid going jail, and avoid having beef with people. I'm not even saying that's good, because even if you get away from the people in this life, you get away from the policemen, you get away from the judges, you get away from the law and this, that, and the other. There's your creator's laws you've got to deal with. The day of judgment, the hellfire, this, that, and the other. And we all have to stand in front of the creator. I call it Allah. You may call it God or whatever you want to call it. It's obviously not Jesus. Jesus didn't create the universe. Jesus was a worshipper of God, and he was a servant of God, and he was a prophet of God, and he had a miraculous birth. And all the prophets, whether it be from Adam to Muhammad or whatever, they all called people to worship God alone. None of them said, not Jesus, not Moses, not Muhammad, not Abraham. None of them said, I am God to worship me. They all said, there's one God. He's like nothing you see on earth. He's the only one that should be worshipped. Yeah, there's going to be a day of judgment. Follow our rules and our regulations, of what he said right is wrong. Live your life by those rules and try and be the best. You're not going to be perfect, but try, avoid the major sins and so forth and follow our way. But the thing is, even if you escape the police and the police law and this, that, and the other and so forth, and the law of this land or whatever, so forth, there's God's law. You know what I'm saying? And going into these places, yeah, and holding a machete to a middle-aged woman or elderly woman who works in a jewellery shop, yeah, and fighting the hell out of her. Whether you actually use the machete on her, or you use the knife on her, or you use the baton on her, or you put the shotgun, you actually shoot the shotgun, or you don't shoot. You're basically, yeah, whether it's a man or a woman, you're giving them a heart attack. You're putting them in shock. You're affecting them mentally for years. You don't have the right to do that to another one of God's creations. But the point I'm trying to make you, even if you get away with it from this law and this, you get away from the police, you get away from the judges, you get away from, you avoid going to jail. There's still the creator's law that you have to deal with. And the punishment, God's punishment or the creator's punishment, yeah, for holding a shotgun to someone, or holding a machete to someone, or using a machete on someone, when using a shotgun on someone to get money, is not these little, probation if it's the first time you got caught, and a bit of community stuff if you got caught, or if you see your second crime, 3 years or 4 years or 5 years. No. That's not God's punishment. You know what I'm saying? God's punishment to deals with the hellfire and punish pain and breaking bones and crushing, you know what I'm saying, burning nerves and pain, literal pain, not metaphorically pain of mental, you know, pain, or yeah, there's gonna be mental pain, but there's physical pain a million times worse than that. Because 3 years for holding a machete up to a woman who's just might work at a job, you know, I'm trying to earn some money, and so for holding a machete to her, putting a gun in her face, you know, or shooting drugs, mashing up the creation, or you know, shooting someone because they wouldn't pass the jewels in time, yeah, or just threatening that you're gonna shoot them because they won't hand over the jewels or the cash, you know, just because you get away with it in this life, it doesn't mean any of us will get away with it in the next life, yeah. And I'm just saying to you this because I've made a million mistakes, you know what I'm saying. I'm a person, I haven't been Muslim all my life, you know what I'm saying, and so forth. And I was out there doing a million and one wrong things, yeah, mistake after mistake after mistake. Not listening to people who were older than me because I just thought you was born at that age you were at. Yeah, you don't know nothing. I'm only 16 or 17. I know everything. I don't need anyone, no one can tell me nothing. I'm only 15, 16, 17 or 18 years old, yeah, hanging around with my friends who are roughly the same age as me and stuff, like doing crime and stuff. I know what I'm doing. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I know what I'm doing. I know everyone older than me just dropped out the age. I never lived life. They just dropped out. They just dropped out the sky at that age, yeah, and they don't know anything. So the whole thing is that I'm making these videos. The reason why I didn't make these videos is because I wasted too many years. Like, I don't know how many hours I've done in community service. I think I've maybe done over 1,000 hours in community service. Yeah, I don't know how many times I've gone in and out of police station, in and out of court. You know, I got used to it. I get to know the people in the court, the cleaners in the court, the security guards that worked in the court. I got to know that, like, I got to know the clerks in the court, like, like, this is not normal. It's not normal for us to go on a daily basis in and out of police, yeah, and get always get your fingerprints done, and you know you got to put your hand down, and they do your fingerprints, and you know what I'm saying, you do your mugshot and stuff like this, and you used to the plastic thing. You get your the beans and sausage in and stuff like that, and so forth, and you get the tea from in the courts and so forth, and like this, like to become familiar with the system and always go in and out of jail, in and out of court, in and out of probation, in and out of community service. It's not normal, man. Just because we come from broken single families, no father, you know what I'm saying, no blueprint of what a man is, and so forth. Like, doesn't mean it's normal just because we've done it. It's not normal. To be locked up like a monkey in a zoo, 23 hours a day, it's not normal. Anyway, I'm not gonna go in any longer. Um, yeah, if this is your first time, yeah, subscribe. If this is your third, fourth, or fifth time, subscribe. If you like the video, then like it. Not because I want to become famous and this and that, but I want, the reason why I'm saying this is so that other people can see. The more people that like the video, the more people that subscribe, the more people that share the video and so forth, the more people get to see it when they come onto YouTube. And I'm doing this because I made a million and one mistakes, yeah. And I wish social media was out at the time when I was a youngster, because maybe if someone older than me, yeah, who had actually been in jail, because all the people that tried to advise me before, they hadn't been in jail, but they were older than me, so I could have still learned from them by listening, but I didn't listen to them because I just thought you dropped out of the sky at the age you are, yeah, you don't know nothing, you never been young, you never been, like, but I'm just saying there's, right today, right now, yeah, today, someone, a teenager, yeah, thousands of teenagers, hundreds of teenagers all over the world are going to be locked up, are going to get locked up, and they're going to get used to it, and they're going to spend the rest of their life, yeah, going in and out of jail, spending most of their days on the inside and a few months on the outside. Their life, most of their life is going to spend on the inside and a few months on the outside, when there's no need for it. Like, learn from the mistakes of others. You know, don't learn from your own mistakes, but the wise person, you know, is the person that learns from the mistakes of others. That's a saying of the our prophet, you know, that the two sayings. One, the believer is not hit hit by the same thing twice. Yeah, meaning that when a believer goes through a trial or a test or makes a mistake, he learns from it and he doesn't make that same mistake again. And also, a wise person is the person who learns from the mistake of another. You know, so anyway, that's it. I don't want to bore anyone anymore, but peace out, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you for taking time out to watch the video. I appreciate it. Cool.